How do you have a work-life balance from home? So many people right now are stuck at home, working from home. There are many more people stuck at home and not being able to work. But for now, let's just focus on those that are stuck at home that have to work from home. So when I first started working from home, I remember I felt overwhelmed, I felt scared, I had a lot of anxiety, and it's a matter of working through how you feel and also starting the night before you start your day. So as far as some actual practical tips on how to work from home with a work-life balance. So say for instance tonight, I would definitely encourage you to take out a piece of paper and a pen or notepad and write out the following day. So today's Thursday, write out what you're going to do for Friday. Or if it's a different day, then obviously adjust it accordingly. So write out, say, I like to give myself time blocks and say, okay, from 9 to 10 o'clock, I'm working on this project or working on this. So schedule out your day the night prior, okay? And that's going to really help keep you motivated and help get you going in the right direction. So when the next morning comes and it's time to wake up and hit the ground running with work, keep your normal morning routine. So if you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you don't have to be at work until 9 o'clock, continue waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Do your normal morning routine, get in the shower, do your hair, put your makeup on, whatever it is that you do. Get the kids ready. I know they're not going to school, but get the kids ready. And when it's time for you to sit down and do your work, make sure if you do have kids, you get the kids on the computer, on Zoom for their teachers or whatever platform the school is using so the kids can continue their education. And then you need a space to actually do your work. So I have a home office space, but not everybody has a home office space, but most people do have either a coffee table or a kitchen table. And I recommend the kitchen table, coffee table as a last resort. Or if you do have any kind of fold out tables that you can use temporarily just to create a sanctuary, a space for your office. And if you do have an actual office, it's always good to close that door. Personally, I don't have an office with a door on it. I kind of turned my dining room area into my home office space. So I don't have doors. But another thing is like your fur babies. Fur babies aren't used to mom and dad staying home. They think, oh, you have the day off. So as far as the animals go, they'll just adjust to your schedule once they realize that you're going to be home, you're going to be working. So say, for instance, my fur babies, if I'm overworking and it's like going on 6, 7 o'clock at night, I'm still working, they will let me know that it's time for me to stop working because now they want my attention. And your animals are going to do the same thing to you, as well as your kids if you have human kids, right? So, and you want to keep it fun working from home. So I recommend taking a family lunch break instead of just taking a lunch break at your own leisure time. Schedule out for the entire family. So if you're there with your husband, your kids, then you all have lunch together. If you are a single person and you are working from home, be sure to take a lunch break. It's so easy to forget to eat sometimes when you're working from home. And then there's two main things that we like to do as humans. We either overwork or we underwork. And especially working from home, it's hard to continue to work. Unless if you're like me, I overwork. So I can get up and I can start working at 4 a.m. and work until like 8, 10 o'clock at night. And that is just ridiculous. So you want to give yourself parameters and say, okay, if you are going to work 9 to 5, then continue to work your 9 to 5. If you choose to have a shorter work period, so a lot of people can actually get their 9 to 5 work done from like 9 to 12 or 9 to 2, whatever's going to suit you and your family. And you have to make sure that you adjust your workflow to your family since you are at home with the family trying to get all this work done, okay? And let's see. You also want to maintain a social life. It's so important for us to maintain a social life while we're stuck at home. And how do we do that? I know we have this social distancing that we're doing. In reality, it really should be called physical distancing. We have so much technology nowadays, there's no need to isolate ourselves socially. So everybody, I'm sure by now, is very familiar with Zoom. You can jump on Zoom, you can create your own space for you and your friends to come on Zoom, have, girls' night out, have a guys' night out on Zoom, or whatever the case is that you want to do. If you want are a part of a church and you want to have a church group on Zoom, by all means, have your Bible study on Zoom. And this way you have that human connection. No, we aren't going to have that physical connection, but you can still have that human connection, which is so important for us as humans. Let's see. And then at the end, once you do stop working, you want to make sure that that space, say you stop working at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or earlier in the day, the rest of the day is dedicated to you and your family. So be sure to have that space for you and your family and enjoy the time you have with them, listen to them. Take this time that we have right now to slow down. It's so easy for all of us to get caught up in the 9-to-5 rat race, but this is the space for all of us to step into to say, okay, what are my values? What do I really want from life? What's the purpose of my life and the work that I'm doing? Is it to, put food on the table constantly? Is it to only pay the bills, or is there more to life? Is it so I can have more time with my family? So now is a really good time for all of us to do a little bit more soul searching to figure out, what exactly do you want from your life? Do you want to continue your normal lifestyle once we return to the concrete world out in the hustle and bustle of the everyday life? Or I personally think everything's going to shift. It's going to shift. We can build something stronger together, and we'll see what comes out on the other end. But my personal opinion, I think that we're going to want more family time and less at work time, because as of right now in our society, Americans just work themselves to death. And what kind of life is that? Where do you have the space for your family? Does your family only get 7-8 hours in the evening? Or should your family have more than just Saturdays and Sundays with you? This is something for everyone to decide for themselves and for us to decide together as a unit. So we'll see what happens in the future. And be sure, the last tip that I have for you guys is be sure to get a full night's rest. So continuing to keep your bedtime. If you go to bed by 10 o'clock, continue to go to bed by 10 o'clock. And if you wake up at 7, then continue to wake up at 7, or whatever your nightly routine is. Keep your nightly routine and create a morning routine if you don't already have one. And then if you do have one, stick to your morning routine. So that is all I have for the tips on how to keep a work-life balance while we go through this chaos that we're going through right now. What I will offer to everybody is, if you do need more support around creating a work-life balance for yourself, or if you need a support group just to have space to be heard and to be with other people, I will create a support group free of charge that anybody can pop in and pop off. If you do want to have access to that space, then just shoot me an email, give me your email address, and I will shoot you the Zoom link so you have access to that. And that will be every Thursday at 7 p.m. And if that time isn't going to work for everybody, I will adjust that time. So I will see you guys later. Ciao for now.